Hey, I wanted to share a couple more thoughts on daring love, which is what we're talking about in She at the moment. And it made me think of, even in this time of lockdown, you ask people what you're looking forward to afterwards. And most people, they don't say, oh, I want to go to the movies or go shopping or go out for a meal. I mean, we do want to do those things, don't we? But mostly people say, I want to see my family. I want to hang out with family. I want to hang out with friends. Because sometimes we can take those relationships for granted. And if you think about it, our life is made up of relationships, and they, when everything else is stripped away, are the most important things in our life. And relationships, they're important to us, but they're important to God as well. And one of the things in relationships, we talked about forgiveness last time. Well, one of the things in relationships that we find really hard to say for some reason is this word, and I've got a little prop to help me. It's a word, sorry. You find it really, really hard to say. It can be like you've got something like this in your mouth, and it's really hard to say, I was wrong. I was wrong, and I'm really, really sorry. It's a bit of a silly example, but if that helps you to remember, say sorry in relationships, then that's a great reminder. But it's so hard to say sorry, and yet it's so important that we do practice that. I mean, even in marriage, we have to say sorry a lot in our marriages, don't we? And I remember when we first got married, we took days and days sometimes would go by before one of us would give in and say, and admit that we were too proud to say sorry. So we would finally say sorry, and I would probably take off and run across the field and run away, and Gary would come and rugby tackle me to the ground. And that's how we used to used to deal with things. How crazy is that? So thankfully we've moved on a bit, and now it's almost more of a race to be the quickest one to say sorry, and it's more like a competition, because we want unity in our relationship, we want unity in our marriage, and it's a peacemaker, isn't it, when you come and you say sorry. But sometimes to admit that you're wrong and to say sorry is one of the hardest things. And even in 34 years of bringing up children, the times I've had to say sorry to my kids. And I would say that is a really important point, is that, don't ever be too proud to say you're sorry to your kids, because that's also important, to show them humility, that you're willing to say, I was wrong and I'm sorry, because sometimes I've been a bad example to my kids, or I've had a bad attitude, and I've had to come and say, look, I'm really sorry. But even recently, there was a relationship in my life that it was okay, it was great, and but I just felt like there was something, I don't know, there just didn't seem peace in that relationship, and I really felt God saying, you need to say sorry. And so I prayed about it, and I thought, well, I didn't really know why our relationship didn't have peace. I didn't really understand it, but I thought, well, maybe I do need to say sorry. I wasn't really sure what for. So thankfully it wasn't in the lockdown period, it was when we could see each other face to face. And I came and I said to this person, I'm really, really sorry for a lack of understanding at times. And it was really powerful, because immediately you could see that it had an impact, and they were so grateful. And I can honestly say, because I know sometimes you need time to see if that relationship is healed, but it's made a huge, huge difference in that relationship. And I would say there's peace in that relationship now. There's I think it helps, it paves a way for forgiveness, which is what we talked about last time. It paves a way for healing and peace. And if our life is full of relationships, we want to have the best and most thriving relationships we can have. And we want unity and peace in our relationships, don't we? And that's really important. Don't ever let pride get in the way. It's a good way to humble ourselves sometimes by saying we're sorry. And maybe you can talk about this in your sisterhood groups as well. But, maybe there's someone in your life that you need to apologise to, and you might think, it's not obvious, but maybe go away and pray about it, because it can make all the difference. And I am so happy that it's made all the difference in this relationship. It's very clear, and I'm so happy about that. Yeah, it's really important. And if you think about it, even our relationship with God, how it starts off, you know, with that prayer of salvation, starts by us saying, we're sorry. We're sorry, Lord, for all the things we've done wrong. We're so sorry for all the mistakes we've made in our lives. So sorry is a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big thing to practice in our life, but it is something we need to practice. And, you know, quite often my prayers will start off with, I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry, God, for what I've done. I'm sorry for what I was thinking. I'm sorry for the way I've treated someone. And so sorry has to become a big part of our lives. So let's get practicing. Let's say sorry more often than not, and let it make our relationships flourish, because it's so important, and it disarms people, and it makes a way for forgiveness and peace in our relationships. Thanks for listening. God bless, and have a great week.